Hello students, welcome to the second part of the chapter. Okay, in the last lecture we have discussed regarding the axial part, and today we are going to discuss regarding the appendicular skeleton. Okay, so let's understand. As we know, the axial was consist of the skull, vertebral, ribs and the sternum. The same like that. The appendicular is consist of two parts, that is the bones of the limbs and the girdles. Let's understand what do you mean by limbs. Limbs are nothing but your hands and legs. Okay, so limbs are classified into two parts, that is the forelimbs. Okay, forelimbs, and the second name is the hind limbs. Fore means the upper part like the hand, and hind means your lower part like leg. Okay, so limbs means hands and legs. The upper part is called the forelimbs and the lower part is called the hind limbs. Then we have the girdles. Okay, what do you mean by the girdles? Which helps to articulate the limb bones. What do you mean by articulate? Articulate means to get attached. Easy language to understand the word articulate, attach, which helps to attach. See, basically this is the arm section. Okay, so basically this arm section is attached to this shoulder. Okay, out here this is the shoulder region which is attached to this part. So basically they are attached, right? So they are attached by the girdles. Bones of the limbs. The first, see this part, this part is called the forelimbs. Forelimbs means your hands and legs. Forelimbs. See, this region is called arms. This region are called your forearms, and this basically it's nothing but your hand part. Okay, this whole is your hand part, and these are the finger regions. See, this is the arms, then forearms, and then your finger region. So basically we can see this three division we can see out here. This region, second, first, second and third. They have been divided into three parts. See, the arm region is called the humerus. This all are the biological word. Arms, forearms, fingers and all, they are just the normal English letters, okay, which we have studied from the lower standards. But humerus is the biological words. This all are the biological words. This yellow shade is called the ulna, and the green part is called the radius. So basically, see, the arm region is called the humerus, which is the longest bone, one of the longest bone. Ulna, this is the bone which is attached to your small finger. This part, this is the small finger we can see out here. Okay, and the radius, it attached to the thumb part. This radius, it is attached to the thumb part. So ulna is attached to the small finger, and the radius it attached to the thumb part. Then we have the wrist bones. Okay, wrist, they are called as the carpals. Okay, they are called as the carpals. They are 8 in number. Okay, carpals are nothing but the wrist bones. Then we have the palm region. Okay, after completion of the wrist we are going down. Okay, we are coming to the palm region. So they are called as the metacarpals. Okay, where the word meta means between. Okay, between the carpals, like this. And these are the phalanges. They are 14. Okay, what are phalanges? Like, see, we have 5 fingers. Okay, total 5 fingers. See, 5 fingers are there. Out of that, 4 fingers, and we have 5 part. Okay, out of that 4 are the fingers and 1 is thumb. The finger consists of 14 bones. Okay, if you are going to close your one finger, so you can easily notice this three fingers on each. Okay, on each. So like that, how many fingers we have? 4. So 4 fingers will have 12 bone. Okay, one thumb. If you are going to close your one thumb, so how many bones are there? 2. So total they are consist of 14. Okay, 12 fingers are in bones. Sorry, 12 bones are in fingers and 2 are there in the thumb. See, as we have the four limbs, as we have the same like that hind limbs. Now see, hind limbs, the limbs part, see the hand and the legs, see the hand has the same part. Okay, the legs has the same part like the hand, the legs has the same part as your hand has. Okay, the parts are corresponding to each other. See, as we were having arms, so we have thigh. As we were having this forearm part, so we were having this lower thigh part. Okay, this region, okay, below the knee part. As we have the fingers and all, so here also we have the fingers and all. So the parts are corresponding to each other, so it becomes very easy for you to understand, to learn of the name. One of the longest bone, femur. Okay, one of this femur is also called as the thigh bone. Okay, one of the longest and the strongest bone of your body, longest and the strongest one. Then the inner part is called tibia. Okay, and the outer part is called the fibula. Inner part is called the tibia and the outer part is called the fibula. See, as we were having the wrist bone carpals, here we have the ankle bone tarsals. See, the parts are corresponding to each other if you notice. Okay, here we were having humerus, so we were having femur. Here we were having radius and ulna, so here we were having tibia and fibula. As we were having carpals, here we have the tarsals. As we have the metacarpals, as we have the same like this metatarsal. The phalanges name does not changes. Okay, the names are easy. You just have to see the corresponding parts of each other. Okay, if you are going to notice one hand, so same like that you have to notice your legs also. So the names become easy. Carpals in case of hands, tarsals in case of legs. Metacarpals, metatarsals. Okay. Humerus, see this is the hand bone na. So how to remember? H stands for humerus. The first letter H stands for humerus, H stands for hand. So your name does not get confused up. Hand means the humerus part. Okay, and the femur is the thigh region. So this was the total bones. Okay, only one extra bone is there. See, only one extra bone is there. That is called the patella. Okay, what is the patella? Patella is also called as the kneecap. Okay, patella is also called as the kneecap. Kneecap, what is a kneecap? Kneecap is a bone which is developed from a tendon. What do you mean by the word tendon? Suppose this is a bone to which the muscles are attached. Okay, are called the tendon. Muscles to bone attachment is called the tendon. The patella is nothing but the kneecap. Now girdles. See, two types of girdles we are going to study. One is the shoulder girdle, okay, the upper part, and the other one is the hip girdle. What is girdle? Girdle is a kind of a skeleton which helps to attach the limbs part. Okay, so we were having the two types of limb, forelimbs and the hind limbs. Forelimbs means the upper part of the body. So let's understand their names. See, so first we are studying about the shoulder girdle. Shoulder girdle. See, this is a collarbone. Okay, collarbone, which is the front section of your body. Which is the front section of your body. Now, we were having this scapula. See, as the collarbone, you just have to assume like this. Collarbone is the front part which we can see around the neck. Okay, the collar part, and the scapula is exactly on the back side. Okay, see, we have a chest on the back side of the chest, if you are going to contract up your back, so we can see the scapula that project out from your part. Okay, this is the scapula. Then we have the cavity. What do you mean by a cavity? Cavity means, you just understand like this, okay, it's a hole kind of a thing. Okay, a hole. So we have a glenoid cavity. What is the function of this glenoid cavity? The function of this glenoid cavity is to fit the humerus part to the shoulder part. Okay, it's to hold the, it just have to connect up the humerus. Okay, it just have to connect up this humerus with the shoulder part. See, this is the humerus part. Okay, this is, we can see the collarbone, and between there is a space. So this is a cavity. Okay, glenoid cavity. So basically this is nothing but the attachment. Okay, this is attaching this humerus part with the shoulder part. So this is nothing but the cavity, which means a space, okay, which is attached to this part. And collarbone is also called as the clavicle. Collarbone is also called as the clavicle. Then pelvis girdle. Hip girdle, pelvis girdle is one and the same only. Now we are going to understand how the legs are attached. Okay, now we are at the lower end of the body, that is the hind limbs we are talking. See, each of the hip girdles, okay, what is the function of this hip girdle? To attach up your leg part. Okay, to attach up the leg part. So they have been divided into each hip bone. Okay, each side means this, they have been divided into two parts like this. Okay, each of this part consists of the three bones, that is the ilium, which is the bladey kind of a structure we can see out here. This is the sacrum. Okay, this is the tailbone. Okay, this part is the tailbone. There is an attachment called sacrum, and there is a blade kind of a projection called the ilium, and there is a pubis. This is the next part. This is nothing but the pubis. So how to remember? Ilium, okay, ilium, and this is the sacrum. So you just don't have to remember this name, sacrum, ilium, pubis, and ischium is important, this part. Okay, this whole big part, this fleshy structure is called the ilium. This pubis, okay, which is attached to the coccyx, which is the lower end of the vertebrae, and this whole is called the ischium. So how to remember this name? IIP. Okay, ilium, ischium, and pubis. See, in hands we were having a cavity called as the glenoid, which is a very important name. Okay, for hand there is a cavity called glenoid cavity. Same like that we are studying about the leg part. Okay, so there is a cavity called the acetabellum. What is the name? Acetabellum. Acetabellum. What is acetabellum? Acetabellum is nothing but the cavity which helps to attach up the structure of the leg. Okay, your leg is attached. Suppose there is a leg. Okay, so there is a cavity out here. You can see the gap. Okay, gap. So basically this helps to attach with each other. Now we are going to learn about the joints part. What do you mean by joints? Joints means what? Where the two separate bones attach to each other. See, we have studied about the hand part. What were the name? Humerus and the tibia fibula. Okay, so the two separate bones, these are the two separate bones. Okay, they are attached to something out here. They are called as the joints. Okay, like elbow is nothing but your joint. Knee is nothing but your joints. Okay, so they have been classified into three types. immovable, partially movable, and freely movable. Okay. What are immovable joints? Immovable joints are those which does not shows any kind of a movement. Example of this is the skull, the upper part. See, this is the skull part. This is not going to show any kind of a movement. Okay, this is fixed in nature. This is not, it is not going to show any kind of a movement. So that is why they are classified in the immovable joint. Then we have the second name called the partially movable joints. Partially movable. What do you mean by a word partially? Partially movable means this kind of a joint which show only a certain movement. Okay, only a small movements they are going to show. The joint between ribs or the vertebrae. What are ribs? The front part of the chest. Okay, ribs. Whenever we see, this was the sternum, and there was an attachment of this ribs. Okay, so whenever we breathe in, breathe out, so it always expands and contracts, but it shows only certain amount of change. Okay, only a small amount of change, only a small amount of movement it is going to show. So that is why they have considered in the partially movable. And vertebrae means the back region. Now the freely movable joints. See, freely movable means it is going to show you different degrees of movements. Okay, freely movable means what? The part which can get easily move up. First we have the gliding joints. Gliding joints. Okay, these gliding joints are present in the wrist, okay, and in the ankles. Where these gliding joints are present? In the wrist region and in the ankle. These are the gliding joints, wrist and the ankle. See, whenever we have to pick up any of the thing, okay, if suppose we are accelerating, okay, if suppose I am sitting on a bike, okay, and if I have to accelerate, so basically what I am going to do, I am going to take the help of the wrist only. So they are considered as the gliding joints. Ankle. Suppose I have to, if suppose I have to kick any of the thing, okay, suppose a football I have to kick. So with the help of this ankle also, with the help of this movement, okay, with the help of this ankle also I can kick up the ball. So this is in the ankle part. Pivot joint. See, pivot joint, see, this kind of a joint is present, okay. Where this pivot joint is present, first we will understand that it is present between the skull and the vertebrae. Skull means this part, okay, skull part, and vertebrae means the spinal cord. So in between the neck region, this is called the pivot joint. Okay, suppose we know that part very well. Pivot joint means what? Basically pivot, it's a physics word, okay, which shows up a small, because this is attached, okay, it is going to show some of the movement only. Suppose I have to tell yes, so I can move, okay. If I have to tell no, so I can move, okay. So basically my skull region is going to move toward left and right, up and down, but my head is not going to move 360 degree. Because why? Because there is one joint, that is pivot, which restricts up some of the movement. So that is why this pivot is there, okay. And where this bone is present, between this vertebrae and this skull. The next part, the hinge. So we have heard about this word hinge also in the physics. Hinge, where hinge is provided. Suppose this is a door, this is the door, and this is nothing but the attachment. So, and this is the knob of the door. So if I have to move in or out, so I am going to push this part, okay, I am going to push this part, but because of this it will come back again into its original position. So hinge, where this hinge joint is present, it is present between the elbow joint, between the humerus, okay, and the same like that it is present in the knee also. See, if I'm talking about the elbow, so you have to take the respectively the other part, that is the knee part. and the next one is the ball and socket joint. See, these are the diagrams. Gliding joints, see here. Okay, pivot, see, this is the scale, this is the hinge, see. Humerus means the hand, ulna, forearms, to this movement. Okay, this is nothing but the hinge part, and in the femur also. Then we have the ball and socket example. What do you mean by ball and socket? See, we have heard about this word socket at our home also. What is the socket? See, this is a socket, suppose. Inside this socket, what we are going to do? We are going to fit some of the electronic gadgets. Okay, a 3-pin wire, I am going to insert it up. So that is why they are called as the ball and socket joints. So if you notice, this is the femur, which means the leg, and this is the ball and socket joint. See, this is the ball and socket joint. Okay, why it is called ball? Because if you resemble, so this is resembling a shape of a ball. Okay, socket means the space. So this ball is attaching into this socket, where this ball and socket joints are present in the shoulder region. Okay, in the shoulder joint and the hip joint. See, we have studied about the girdles part, no? So we can take this example. What is the function of the shoulder girdle? To attach your humerus. And what is the function of the hip girdle? To attach your femur. Femur means your leg region. Then synovial fluid. Okay, see, here 2 bones we can see out here. 2 bones. Okay, in between these 2 bones there is a cushion kind of a thing. This is the tissue which is called as the cartilage. Between this cartilage, a fluid that is present in between this 2 cartilage. Okay, it may be present in the shoulder region or in a knee region. Okay, shoulder and knee, both, in both the places this joint, see, this part is going to be present. See, there is a fluid present called as the synovial fluid, and this synovial fluid is there in the synovial membrane. Suppose this is a bone, this is a bone, and there is a bag kind of a thing. This is called the synovial membrane, and inside this synovial membrane what is filled? Synovial fluid. What is the function of this synovial fluid? This synovial fluid provides up the lubrication. Okay, it provides up the lubrication. What is, see, why they need to be get lubricated? See, we have often heard about these terms, that in the old age the people often avoid to walk through the steps. Okay, instead of that they prefer to go in the lift or escalator. The reason is very simple, because in the olden age the people, as the age gets higher, the fluid, that is the synovial fluid, get decrease in level. Okay, and due to this the 2 bones rubs against each other, and it causes up a immense amount of pain. So that is why this synovial fluid is there, because it helps to give up the lubrication so that you can easily move up your legs and up. Okay, and it also helps to remove the friction. So where is synovial fluid present? Inside the synovial membrane. Okay, here we can see out here. See, this is the synovial membrane. Inside this there is a fluid called the synovial fluid. Okay, and which is very well protected by this fibrous capsule. See, as we have studied, this chapter has been consist of the 2 parts. One is the bones, I mean to say the skeleton, and the other one is the muscles. So what is the function of this muscles? The function of this muscles means it provides the movement part. Okay, it provides the shape to the body. The muscles also helps to maintain up the body postures like sitting, standing, walking. So basically this muscles plays an important role in this part. Okay, see, they provide in the movement part, they give shape to the body, and they maintain the body postures like if suppose I am sitting, standing, or walking, so my body should not get loosed up. So who maintains this function? The muscles provide these functions to us. So what are muscles? Muscles are nothing but the tissues only. Okay, and when these muscles are attached to the bones, they are called as the tendons. See, we can see out here tendons. This is the bone where there is an attachment of these muscles. Okay, here see, biceps and triceps are nothing but the muscles. Okay, they are attached to this bone. So these muscles, when get attached to the bone, is called tendon. Okay, they are called as the antagonistic muscles. Biceps and triceps are called the antagonistic muscles. If you notice, if suppose I ask you a question, who has a lot muscles? Okay, who has the more amount of muscles, biceps or triceps? So we can see from the diagram clearly, as biceps is larger than the triceps, so bicep should be greater. But is it false? This is false. See, the word tri means 3 and the word bi means 2. See here, 3 sep means the head. Okay, sep means the head. Here the 3, okay, here in the triceps region there is 3 muscles that are present. Okay, see, 3. Here the number of muscles are more, and in biceps only 2 types of muscles are present. So that is why triceps are usually larger than the biceps. But what the antagonistic means what? The word antagonistic means what? The opposite. Suppose whenever we pull up our arms part, so at that time biceps contract and triceps relax. Okay, see, biceps contract and triceps relax. So when this position happens, when your biceps get contract, whenever we pull the biceps towards us, okay, so at that period of a time you can feel on your triceps it is getting relaxed up. So if one of the muscles get contract and other gets relaxed, so they are called as the antagonistic muscles. As we do this in the upper part, the same happens in your leg region also, and they are antagonistic in nature. Means what? This shows the opposite movements. One get contract, other gets relax. So that is why they are called as the antagonistic muscles. 3 types of different muscles we are going to study. Okay, there are 400 muscles in our body. Okay, they have been classified into 3 parts: voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac. Voluntary muscles are those muscles which are under our control. Okay, which are under our control. But what do you mean by the word involuntary? Involuntary muscles are those muscles which are not under our control. Let's take an example. If suppose I tell you to pick up the pencil, if I'm going to pick up this pencil, so this is in my hands, right? So these are called as the voluntary muscles. But at the same period of a time, if I tell you stop blinking up your eye, so it is not possible for you to stop your eyes get blinked. Okay, so they are involuntary muscles because these muscles are not under your control, like your eyelids. Okay, these are not under your control. But what are cardiac muscles? These are the special kind of muscles which are present in the heart, as we have studied in the chapter called the tissues. Even the tissues they are the special type of a tissue called cardiac muscles which are present in the heart region. Okay, and even they are very important. Even they are involuntary in nature. But the only difference between these 2 muscles are cardiac muscles work 24/7. Okay, they work 24/7, but involuntary muscle does not work 24/7. Okay, whenever you are going to sleep, so automatically your eyes is going to get shut up. Okay, so at that period of a time, the blinking of eyes is not going to take place. So involuntary muscles work for a particular period of a time, but cardiac muscle have to work 24/7, because suppose if your heart muscle stops working, so the person can die. Okay, so most of the actions in our body, like walking, running, any of the things, takes place due to this muscle only, and these muscles provide you with a great amount of the flexibility also at the same period of time. So thank you students, this was the part 2 of the chapter called skeleton.